The world has been captivated by the bond between Tia and Tamera Mowry, but now the truth behind their breakup is finally being revealed. In this shocking video, Tia opens up about the emotional struggles and the tough decision that led to their separation. Was it just a natural drift, or was there something deeper behind their falling out? You won't believe the reasons Tia had to face to finally put herself first. This is a story you don't want to miss. Watch now to uncover the untold truth about their relationship and what's really going on behind the scenes. The breakup. Tia Mowry and Tamera Mowry have been inseparable since childhood. As twins, they shared everything from their rise to fame on Sister to their personal milestones. But as they grew older, their bond faced challenges that many didn't see coming. The turning point came when Tia made the tough decision to step away from Tamera in a way that shook their entire family. The breakup wasn't just a simple fallout, it was a deep emotional shift that Tia had to navigate carefully. Tia explained that their relationship, although once filled with constant support and shared experiences, became strained due to diverging paths in their lives. Tamera, who was focused on family and maintaining a more private life, had different priorities than Tia, who was driven by a desire for independence and personal growth. These contrasting life choices began to build tension, and despite their love for each other, the emotional distance grew. Tia, in her candid interviews, shared how difficult it was to accept that they needed space. She expressed how, for a while, she felt like her identity was so intertwined with Tamera's that it became hard to distinguish where one twin ended and the other began. This emotional dependency led to a clash in their personal and professional lives. As Tia began to understand the importance of setting boundaries, the idea of a breakup wasn't just about stepping away from her sister. It was about discovering who she was outside of the twin dynamic. She realized that personal growth sometimes requires letting go, even when it feels impossible. Tia's journey wasn't easy, and it was filled with moments of doubt, guilt, and sorrow. Yet she came to realize that by prioritizing herself, she could heal and move forward. In 2025, Tia continues to embrace her new path, staying true to her career, her values, and her mental health. Though their relationship is still evolving, Tia and Tamera are both learning how to navigate life as individuals while cherishing the love they have for each other as sisters. Emotional struggles. Tia Mowry's decision to step away from her twin sister, Tamera, wasn't just a logistical choice. It was an emotional struggle that weighed heavily on her heart. Being twins, their bond had always been inseparable, and the thought of drifting apart left Tia grappling with feelings of guilt and uncertainty. She admitted in interviews that it felt like a betrayal at first. After all, their entire lives had been centered around each other, sharing everything from childhood memories to career milestones. But as they grew older, the pressure of living in each other's shadow became harder to ignore. Tia faced the overwhelming challenge of accepting that their relationship could no longer remain the same. As Tamera settled into a more private family life, Tia felt the need to assert her individuality. The emotional conflict that followed was intense, and for a long time, Tia struggled to find peace with her decision. She shared that there were days when the weight of their broken bond felt too heavy to bear, and she even questioned whether she had made the right choice. One of the hardest parts for Tia was the fear of losing her sister completely. While their paths were diverging, the fear of losing the person she had always shared her life with was ever present. Tia spoke openly about how she wrestled with moments of loneliness, as her sister was always the one person who understood her in ways no one else could. The void that followed the decision was a constant reminder of how much their relationship had defined her sense of self. Despite these struggles, Tia began to understand that sometimes emotional pain is necessary for growth. She slowly started to realize that while it was difficult to let go, her personal development depended on it. The emotional journey was long, and it wasn't without setbacks, but Tia ultimately found solace in accepting that the struggle was part of her transformation. It was through these painful lessons that she learned the importance of self-care, independence, and the need to carve out space for herself, even from the people she loved the most. Tia's perspective. For Tia Mowry, the emotional journey of stepping away from her twin sister, Tamera, was a complex and transformative experience. In her heart, she knew that this separation wasn't about rejecting her sister, It was about finding her own identity and understanding the space she needed to grow as an individual. Tia openly spoke about how her deep connection with Tamera had always been a source of strength, but it also created a sense of dependency. Their lives, both professionally and personally, had been so intertwined that Tia found it difficult to separate who she was from who she was with Tamera. Tia's perspective on the situation evolved over time. In the beginning, it was hard for her to admit that they needed space. She struggled with guilt and even felt like she was failing her sister. But as Tia continued to reflect on her own life, she realized that she couldn't remain in the same dynamic if she wanted to become the best version of herself. She needed to step into a new chapter, one where she wasn't defined by her relationship with her twin, but instead by her own passions, dreams, and ambitions. Through her journey, Tia came to understand that personal growth often requires tough decisions. She needed to break free from the shadows of shared fame and live her life authentically, which meant pursuing her career, health, and happiness without compromise. Tia also recognized that her relationship with Tamera could evolve, not necessarily end, and that setting boundaries was a form of love, not abandonment. In interviews and on social media, Tia has shared how painful yet liberating it was to confront the truth of their changing relationship. She emphasized that it wasn't about losing her sister. It was about rediscovering herself and embracing a new phase in her life. Tia's honesty in sharing this difficult part of her story has resonated with many who have faced similar struggles in their own relationships, showing that growth can be uncomfortable but ultimately empowering. Moving forward, despite the emotional challenges that came with ending her close relationship with Tamera, Tia Mowry is determined to move forward with optimism and strength. In recent interviews, she has emphasized that while their bond may have changed, it hasn't erased the love and respect they share for one another. Tia continues to focus on her own personal development, exploring new opportunities, and nurturing her own happiness outside of the public eye. Tia has taken this time to reflect on her past, learn from the experience, and build a future that is uniquely her own. She has immersed herself in her career, her family, and her passion projects, allowing space for new connections and growth. Moving forward, Tia's story isn't just about the end of a chapter. It's about embracing new beginnings and the strength that comes from facing difficult decisions. Her journey of self-discovery has empowered her to live authentically, no matter the challenges she may face. And while the relationship with Tamera has shifted, Tia's path forward is brighter and more focused than ever before. If Tia's story touched you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Relationships, especially family bonds, can be complicated, and sometimes personal growth requires making tough decisions. What do you think about Tia's choice to distance herself from Tamera? Do you believe it was the right decision, or could they have worked through their struggles differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective on navigating change in close relationships. And don't miss our next video. At 44, Monica finally confirms what we all feared. Coming soon. You won't want to miss the shocking reveal.